Hey there, folks, and welcome back, I guess.
Yeah, we totally didn't plan that out beforehand. Hey everyone, how we all doing?
Hey
If you
there,
if
folks, and
Hey, that's we're all good. We're all good on the audio. This is great. Let's get into it. So,
that's
as
why we did that.
exactly, you probably better do all the talking tonight because as people can probably hear if they're tuning in, I'm a little bit under the weather. This happened as of like an hour and a half ago, which is great. I love how my body works. So, once again, I'm Chris and joined with JX Editor to chat some Ahsoka. Today is the season finale, part 8, and the title of today's episode. So last week, what was it? Dreams and something or other. We didn't know what the
Madness.
title meant last week. This week we have the Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. Before I even hit play on this episode this week, I wanted to gouge my fucking eyes out after reading that title. What a shit title. I'm sorry. It made me actively angry reading that title today. That's going to be our first conversation topic. What, dude, the title. What do you think? You're a bigger Narnia fan than I am, in that you've read all of the
Um,
books and seen all of
so
the movies.
Narnia. So here's the thing: if the implication of this title is that the planet that they are on with Thrawn is "quote unquote" Narnia,
I didn't even think about that.
then that would mean the other galaxy, the galaxy where Star Wars takes place, would be our galaxy.
Okay, okay.
Now, how does one get from Narnia out? Sorry, I wear rings, and one of them started chafing my finger today. Anyway,
You wouldn't last 2 seconds in Lord of the Rings, would you?
mm,
Or Narnia, actually.
anyway,
They have magic rings in that as well, don't they?
yeah, in the Magician's Nephew.
Yeah.
Uh, so to get from Narnia to the Earth, how do you get there? You go through a magic gate via the wood between worlds.
Oh. Oh. Wait, so are we saying... Hang on. I was going to do a comparison here with Narnia.
As
There was
soon
an...
as I saw the title, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, this is all... This... Oh, God, yeah. No, I think you're right. This is awful. This is... But who has the rights to Narnia? Because I know that Disney had the rights to the movies when they came out, and then I think they lost the rights. And now I think Netflix has it. Are they doing like a Netflix series directed by the one who did the Barbie movie?
So Disney got them. No. So one studio had the first two. Then Disney got that studio, I think after they sold the rights or gave the rights to Fox. And
Hmm.
then Disney bought Fox.
Right. Right. Oh, okay.
So Disney
Okay.
has it. Disney now
Um,
has it.
what I will say, The
Or
Lion,
at
the Witch,
least it
and the
has all
Wardrobe,
three of those movies.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movie is much better than today's episode of Ahsoka. I will say that. Holy shit! This show, we're going to do a wrap up at the end of whatever this show was or was trying to be, but right out the gate, this episode was fucking piss. Like this whole that's take that as my quote. That's my review for the entire series. Today was genuinely fucking terrible in every way. You messaged me at the beginning of the day saying I was whelmed, right? Or and that's the
I
consensus of
am
what
whelmed.
exactly that is the consensus of what I've been seeing online. Brinsley, let me get the chat box up here, dude. Hang on 2 seconds. I don't know why it doesn't show up sometimes. It's being weird. Brinsley says, "Is this the season finale?" By the way, yes, it is. Thank Christ. I am gonna miss this though, talking Star Wars every week. I will say that, but oh my god, I'm glad I don't
Well,
need
we'll
to
find
devote any
something to
more
do.
time to this show. Star Wars will be back and in greater numbers, I'm sure.
Hey, you know what would be really awkward for me to do to get us to do more streams together?
Go on.
If for me to say on this stream right now in front of Brinsley, God, and everyone, hey, I sent you the link to that edit yesterday. We should do a review on that sometime.
Oh no. Okay. Maybe. Brinsley
Matrix
says.
decoded.
Brinsley says just whelmed. Yeah, just whelmed.
Yes,
Just whelmed.
yes,
I'm not
I
sure
am
why
whelmed.
I'm not sure why the chats aren't coming up on the screen. The chat box is up there. I don't know.
And
Hopefully it
never
writes
on my
itself.
stream.
We've got Bath Time who's just tuned in who says I haven't seen it yet. Was it good? No.
That was
No.
all right.
It's a terrible episode and it doesn't really tie anything up or bring anything to a head that was set up since the beginning of this season. In fact, what even
Oh,
was set?
dude, it Uno reversed.
I
The whole
mean, I guess
season
so,
was
but,
an
like,
Uno reverse card.
but why do I feel like we're in the same place that we ended? That we began this shit and we've ended in the same place.
We're literally in the exact opposite place that we began this shit.
No, but with like the circumstances, the equilibrium is exactly the same. It's really frustrating.
I think that was the point. I think that was the
Oh,
idea. It's an
great.
Uno reverse card.
Oh, great. Well, you're a big fan of The Last
Like,
Jedi, so I'm sure you love that shit. Speaking of Last Jedi,
I mean,
there will be comparisons to Last Jedi in this review.
yeah,
The review
yeah, a
will
couple.
the review will be better than that film, but there are some moments in this episode that do harken back to The Last Jedi. You know, the hallmark of quality. And speaking of The Last Jedi, which is going to
What
take
the
me
fuck
very
is wrong with
neatly
this
onto my...
M&M?
Oh, yeah, yeah. This is going to take... The Last Jedi is going to take me onto my first note, because I wanted to bring something up from last week. Last week, Hera is at a hearing, and she endangered the lives. Hell, people lost their lives during that mission. Rebel lives. She broke away from the norm, from what her orders were. She went off on her own, and she got some rebel fighters killed. And Princess Leia covers for it and says, that's okay. Fast forward to The Last Jedi, she demotes Poe for doing exactly the same thing. Now, to me, that feels more like a sisters are doing it for themselves kind of thing. One rule for one and not for another. So please tell me how the circumstances were any different between those two, because coming from the same person,
One has a republic's worth of resources. The other one has less than a rebellion's worth of resources.
You say that, but then you get to episode 9 and there's even in episode 7 there was a shit ton more of them. So where do they all go in The Last Jedi? Because in The Last Jedi there's like 10 people at the end of that movie still alive. Yet there was masses of people in The Force Awakens. So what gives?
What do you mean? What gives? They were on the transports. They got blowed up. Except
No,
for
there were more. Case in point, episode
Snap.
9.
Actually, the Black Squadron or whatever Poe's fighter group, they're all off doing something. They're getting somebody or
Right.
something doing. They I don't know. They didn't. Ryan Johnson wasn't personal friends with the guy who plays Snap Wexley, so he wasn't in The Last Jedi.
But my
Like,
point
they're
is,
really good friends, JJ.
Leia covers for Hera despite the fact that she still got rebels killed. Like that's what it comes down to. She chastises him for endangering the lives of other rebel
Again,
fighters.
I don't know that any rebels actually died with the hyperspace ring thing.
We saw 2 or 3 X-Wings blow the fuck up.
We saw them on fire and we saw them flying out of control. We did not see them
They
blow
blew
up.
up. We did. They got caught in the path of the... They basically got holdoed maneuvered. That's what happened. And the only one who survived was the chubby Asian guy.
They did not get holdoed maneuvered because the hyperspace thing was in the shape of a ring, and they were all in the center of it.
Oh, of course they don't. You know, that shot's 1 in a million, isn't it? So of course it couldn't have been a holdo maneuver. Of course it couldn't have been.
No, it isn't. It's not 1 in a million. They did it over Endor.
Bath Time says, is there a lightsaber fight better than the sequel trilogy? Because that's all I expect, to be honest. No, there isn't. and the fights in the
I
sequel
mean,
trilogy were fucking terrible, but they were probably better than this. Um, Brinsley says, kind of sad I missed the Andor review. The show was amazing, but I was late to the party. Sorry, off topic.
oh,
Well,
bloody hell.
Brinsley, we have all of our reviews, me and the great JX editor, talking about
I'm alright.
talking about every episode of Andor. So you can find that on the channel. It's not too late. So I've actually been tempted to go back and watch Andor. Which I can't believe I'm saying, because normally I just want to distance myself from Star Wars as much as possible. But I've actually been really curious to see if that show holds up on a second viewing. So, I don't
want
know.
some cereal.
I might head back to it at some point. Bath Time says, oh, nice. If it's the same that speaks to the thing the Dark Jedi was going on about, how it's Jedi Empire, and a cycle that never ends. Speaking of his character, yeah, he does absolutely nothing in this. But we will get to Ray Stevenson's character.
Yeah, so you think he was gonna do something this episode, and that's gonna be like a scene or 7
Well,
next season?
I saw something on Facebook earlier, and I thought it was going to be from this episode, but it must have been from an earlier one. And it was Ray Stevenson in a ship, and he's got like a little comlink thing on his wrist, and someone's like Blade Runner, like zoom in, enhanced. And it's written in the, is it Arabesh, the writing in Star Wars? It's written in Arabesh and someone's translated it. And it translates to Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, R2-D2, 3PO, and Ben. Now, I don't know if that's meant to be some kind of, like, kill list, or... I don't know what it's meant to be, but I don't know why he'd go after 3PO and R2-D2. That just seems like a really weird thing to do. But yeah, so
Yeah, that might be a case of they needed some text for it to be on his thing. Though they haven't really done anything like that before. It's always been like Easter eggs.
yeah,
But maybe there is a reason he like in the studio there's a reason he'd have that list.
yeah, maybe. Bath Time says, right, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, so enjoy the stream, lads. No worries, Bath Time. Cheers for tuning in. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, if you do get back to the... if you do get back to this stream tomorrow, just write a comment and let me know what you thought of the episode, because I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are on it.
But Bath Time, before you go, can I just ask you and Chris and Brinsley a question?
Uh-huh.
Has anybody noticed that nobody's brought it up? Has anyone noticed that if except for this one, there hasn't been a single Ahsoka episode where my screen name has been JX Editor?
What do you mean?
Last week I was JX Predator. Before that I was JX Redditor. I was JX Predator, Neditor, Teditor.
You're spitting some
Nothing.
sick rhymes now, my dude. I'll be rapping, I'll be tapping, I'll be capping, I'll be flapping. That's a Scary Movie 3 reference, by the way. Anyway, let's jump into this episode then. So, we have Thrawn chatting to Morgan Elspeth about never underestimating a Jedi. If that's the case, why, again, I go back to it from a few episodes ago, why wouldn't he just immediately have killed Sabine and or Ezra? If, like, or at least Sabine. You potentially have 2 Jedi.
Are you still on this?
Yes! He's meant to be a fucking, like, smart guy, master tactician.
He tried to orchestrate their deaths in a way that he still kept his word, because he is still a man of his word.
Dude, he says, direct quote, never underestimate a Jedi. He's basically saying, like, I made that mistake once, and I don't plan on making that mistake again. Fuck the word. Fuck his word.
A man of his word.
I don't care. It's dumb. Thrawn is so shit. Is so magnanimously shit in this series. Thrawn was the one thing that I was holding out hope for in this entire series. I don't give a fuck about Ahsoka. I didn't care about Sabine or Ezra or any of that shit. The one thing that I wanted to see was live action Thrawn. And they were building up to him, and, you know, oh, if Thrawn escapes, it's going to doom the galaxy and everything like that. It was building him up. And what has he done this entire series? What has he done in this episode? I kept holding out hope that maybe in the finale, he'll do something. He'll do something menacing. He'll do something imposing.
Wait a second, Chris. Were you under the impression he was going to do anything this season besides leave that planet?
Yes. At least have a
Oh my
conversation with
God.
Ahsoka. At least have a confrontation with Ahsoka. You know, the main antagonist against the
No, no,
main
no, they had a
protagonist.
no, they spoke. Yeah, no, they spoke.
Oh, wonderful. Great. What Thrawn does in this entire series is he be fucking up. Every plan that he has gets dashed, and then he plays it off like it's all part of like a big master plan that was part of the idea the whole time. He sent fighters out after Ahsoka in the previous episode to flush her out and to shoot her down, and it fucked up and it didn't work. And then he tries to send a bunch of stormtroopers after her in order to kill her, and that doesn't work. And then he trains the entire Star Destroyer cannons on two little howlers that are running at the front gate, and they don't work. He blasts the space whales in the previous episode to try and kill them or to deter them, and well, that's a matter of the fact that the space whales just apparently don't get hit by cannon fire. Like, I wanted blubber all over the screen. I wanted, you know, you could have had a moment where Ahsoka's like looking out of the whale, and she's watching all of these beautiful, majestic space creatures get obliterated by the Empire, and she might even have like a pang of sympathy or emotion that I brought this upon them, and which could tie into her supposed arc that she's worried about someone turning to the dark side or bringing death and destruction to things out of her control. That would have been great. We didn't get that. But my point is, Thrawn is dashed every 2 seconds. So if this is meant to be leading into either an Ahsoka series 2, or hell, maybe it's even leading into that movie that's been talked about that Dave Filoni's doing, you fucked your villain. You fucked your main villain already. Because he's not threatening, he's not imposing. We haven't seen him do anything remotely villainous. And even if you do bring him back for a film, I don't care, because first impressions count. And Thrawn's first impression was awfully handled, I thought. Terrible writing, he wasn't an intellectual villain, and he's like Dick Dastardly in Wacky Races. He just gets beaten every single turn. There we go. I feel better now. Continue.
You done?
I'm done.
Okay. So Thrawn does not say like this is all according to my plan. All he does is launch plans that will have acceptable losses. Because his only goal is get off the planet and hopefully keep the Jedi on the planet, because that's a good tactical advantage. And I would point out he does that.
Yeah, but they were also on another planet before, and they still found him, and he also says to not underestimate a Jedi, and he does train his guns on them with the intention to kill them, which never works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you should never underestimate a Jedi.
He be fucking up constantly. But then he does play it off. He's like, oh, excellent, well, ready the stormtroopers for a ground assault. We will take them out that way. And then that doesn't happen, and he's like, no matter. Let Ahsoka come to me, and we will ready the night troopers. Or ready your witches, Morgan Elsbeth. And then they fuck up. And he's like, no matter. I'm to leave the planet. It's always the next. He's always planning like, oh yeah, this is fine. This is fine. But as a viewer, it's frustrating because we're watching a villain just fuck up every time. Imagine if he actually like killed one of the characters. Imagine if he like killed one of the characters, or he actually did something that mattered. We make it out of the end of this, every character's alive.
Oh, like one of those characters.
So, Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine, Hera. We never even saw the big purple guy, which was weird. I still don't know why they didn't bring him into it.
No. This is season 1. You don't kill off one of those characters in the finale. That's fucking stupid.
Oh, God forbid I actually want to see my villain doing something villainous and actually, impacting the plot. Here's a wild idea.
Hell, the one time Thrawn actually killed one of the main cast actually died, it was actually, Thrawn was pretty upset about it.
Well, here's a wild idea then, where we end this series, and it's Thrawn getting off the planet, and then Ahsoka stuck on another planet. It's the Uno reverse card, as you said. How about we start this series with saying, because there was a title crawl at the beginning of this, Thrawn has found, through mystical dark magic, Fuck it, do a Rise of Skywalker. Thrawn has found his way to the galaxy, and set your story there, because that's immediately more interesting to me than an 8 episode dragged out fucking story involving space whales and hyperdrive travel to get to him, for them to have him escape, and then it's just they end up on opposite galaxies again. So what now? So the next one is, oh, we need to find another way to get back to him as he's actually doing something. It's pointless. Just
Oh,
stop.
they're going to use the world between worlds.
Yeah, just be economic with your fucking storytelling and actually tell a worthwhile story. Hera does absolute diddly shit this whole series. Hera does fuck all. What happened to her son? He's like, I know where Ahsoka is in the world between worlds. I hear her fighting. That was it. That was his great fucking contribution to the entire series. Chopper does nothing. Sabine, negligible. She just kind of becomes a boss bitch in like the course of one episode. She's described as shit and the worst Jedi who ever Jedi'd by Hu Yang, and then she's like killing stormtroopers left, right, and center in the final episode, and she's amazing now. Ahsoka just kind of stays surface level, and we already described her massive turning point in episode 5 that was meant to be this pivotal character development episode, and we didn't even understand what the fucking message was of that episode. And then you've got a villain who's just not imposing in any way, and then Ezra's also there. and JX has left. Oh, he's got out while the getting's good. I'm gonna carry on anyway, and hopefully I can bring him back. I'll keep checking to make sure that he's joined. We were all right last week, actually. I'm not sure why it's done this all of a sudden again, but I'll keep an eye on it just to make sure. Brinsley says, not sure how not sure how Andor holds up on a rewatch, but I had low expectations and I just enjoyed the story. I don't think it deals with Jedi stuff either, so kind of nice. Yeah, and that's exactly why I think I love it so much, is that in a world where, to me, the Star Wars IP is completely dead, like, Andor was actually nice because it distanced itself from the Star Wars brand. There's no Sith, there's no Jedi, there's no fucking lightsabers, there's none of that bullshit. It just tells a really good, grounded story with actually good character writing, excellent direction, great visuals. If I was going to throw one complaint, and this isn't even necessarily a complaint to me because I still really enjoyed it, but to someone who might say, oh, I thought Andor was boring, maybe they could have added a few more action scenes in there just to, pander to sort of like the average Joe crowd that want that from a Star Wars project. But if it doesn't compromise the story and the writing, like, it shouldn't be a problem. But I can see why some people might not like it if they do find it very slow. Because we said the same thing when we were watching it, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing personally. But yeah, I just really hope that season 2 doesn't get compromised. If Disney look and go, well, yeah, no one watched series 1, so how about we throw Vader in there? That'll get him in. Let's bring Hayden Christensen back. Let's just keep bringing him back. We then have a scene of Morgan Elspeth. I wrote, Morgan pledges her allegiance to the Graveyard Smash. And gets the Blade of Talzin, which is a magical, mystical voodoo blade that's created literally out of thin air. And I have a question to you, and I think you'll be cool with this because you'll probably have more insight into the EU. Well, you will have more insight into the EU. What do we think to actual magic being in Star Wars? Because the Force is kind of a magical thing, and you go with that.
Oh, magic is just the... No, the magic is just the Force in a different form.
Okay, but this was like sparkly green witchy magic, and it felt really weird. I know it's been in Clone Wars.
That's the form that the... Like, that is the form that their use of the Force takes, because that's through the, like, rather than, like, the Sith rely on the dark side just through, like, pure, like, unadulterated rage, whereas theirs is like modified Force alchemy, energy. It's just a different use of the Force.
I'm not even necessarily kicking off about it. It's just something that I became aware with. Like
Really, not even
this,
really a different use of the Force. Just like a different, because they're using it for a lot of the same things, but they're using it differently to accomplish those ends. It feels like.
well, I mean, there's using the Force, and then there's using the Force to literally craft a blade out of thin air.
Oh, they've done that before a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just I'm like this is like actual Lord of the Ringsy, necromancery, magicy, World of Warcraft type shit going on right now, and it was weird to me. Not
Darth Maul's
necessarily
brother
saying
got
it's
a
a.
magic axe.
I mean, we get zombie stormtroopers in this later, so stick around. I guess that's the Halloween special.
This isn't even the first time we've seen the Blade of Talzin.
Um,
It's
Brinsley.
technically not the first time we've seen the Blade of Talzin.
Okay, okay. Brinsley asks a very
What did
interesting
Brinsley say?
question. Brinsley says, "Now you've seen the whole series, what are your favorite moments in Ahsoka?" Aha. The very, very small scenes that last about 10 to 20 seconds of Ray Stevenson actually giving us a vague insight into the cloudy past of his character. That's it. That dude is acting rings around everyone, and it breaks my fucking heart that he wasn't utilized more in this series. So probably one of those scenes, I guess. Oh,
Yeah,
the trouser shots of a lot of the characters in this series, because Ahsoka, it's a thing. It's a thing that's the one reason to watch the show, and I saw, and it was good. Yeah, so those are an extra two things as well right there. I don't know why everyone is so cheeked up this whole series, but people got cake. It's strange.
they hire models.
Yeah, I guess so. Or the
Like they
wardrobe,
literally hire models because
or
remember they're playing animated characters
mm,
who so they're playing characters who are
you keep cutting in and out, dude. I think we've lost you again. Oh yeah, he's frozen. Oh, you're back. Oh no, you're gone again. Oh, move your router, dude. Move your computer. Move whatever it is you're on. Move it, cause yeah, it's. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, so you cut out there. I heard they're playing animated characters. That's all I heard.
yeah they're playing animated characters, and so we're talking about characters who were like designed with exaggerated features.
Mm. So they were like, get me all the actors that are caked up right now, starting with Ewan McGregor's wife.
Well, yeah, no, like look at the the model the 3D models of Ahsoka and Hera from Rebels and Clone Wars. They have they're this perfect hourglass shaped figure.
Mm. Well, I'm sure Ewan McGregor had some input into the casting of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but I mean, he cheated on his wife with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. All I can say is fair play. I don't condone it, but like, if you're gonna do it, fair play. I mean, it'd be rude not to at that point. Brinsley says, "Rest in peace, JX's internet." Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. It's all right now. It's fine again now.
Yeah, seem all right.
Then we have a scene of
There are three things I can never remember.
Go
Three things.
on. Brinsley, you spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. Go on.
Four.
Four things.
No.
Four things that
I
are
don't
good.
remember.
Oh, four things that are good.
No, there are four things I don't remember.
Sabine's two cheeks and Hera's two cheeks. There you go. Four things. Also, everyone's absolutely simping over Shin Hati, who is such a nothing fucking character this whole series. I don't know why people are losing their shit about her.
Are they?
Yes. Yes. Hard.
Huh.
And
Probably the goth girl thing, I guess. I don't know.
maybe, I don't know, she's got a bit of an accent. It sounded kind of
Redditors
like...
want alt girlfriends.
Yeah. We then have a scene of Ezra constructing a lightsaber. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't, so Huyang tells him that Kanan had the only other emitter of that kind, and he saved it just in case Kanan ever needed that one emitter to replace his two of a kind emitter. And I just like, I know how often these designs are reused. Just say your master had an emitter just like this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
End the thought there.
I mean, you know lightsabers more than me, because you've edited
And
these films down to the infinitesimal
I
detail.
also know grammar more than you.
But even I've recognized that end to a lightsaber. I wouldn't be able to tell you which one, but I've seen it. So, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, it's Kanan's.
Brinsley says Ahsoka Season 1 or Mando Season 3. Pick one. Oof. They're about the same for me.
Yeah, they're probably for me. Actually, I would probably pick Mando Season 3 because...
Dude, your internet is so shit tonight. Oh, God, it's so bad. You've cut out again. If you can hear me. Yeah, it's gone again, dude. Your internet's being a bag of shit tonight. Try and say it again. I think you Mando, right?
Okay, so I would pick Mando Season 3 because editing wise, I think the footage will be more useful than Ahsoka Season 1, especially because I think editing wise, I will mostly need footage from Ahsoka Season 2.
Mm.
Because that's when things are actually going to happen.
Oh, God. Both are so shit. Really shit. I mean...
Chris, something happened in Mandalorian Season 3. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, Jack Black and fucking Lizzo happened in... So you know what?
No. But like you get the end of... You actually get the resolution, like the whole... That season should not have been called Mandalorian Season 3. It would have been fine if that season was just called The Mandalorians.
Oh, they do a Captain Marvel 2 where they demote Captain Marvel in her own sequel and just call it The Marvels.
I feel like that's not the first... Remember Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't, because it was terrible. And it was that movie that I had to watch to get to Infinity War. Oh, no, was it? No, it was between... It was between Infinity War and...
the Endgame.
Yeah, that's right. Brinsley, I actually can't answer that question because they're genuinely both on par for me. I guess I was more pissed at Mando because it kind of like fucked over a lot of stuff from the previous two seasons and made a lot of stuff kind of feel pointless. And if you don't pick, you have to watch both. Well, I've already watched both.
There is something to that.
I've already watched both. So what kind of punishment's that? Fuck, oh, God. They're both so shit. You know what?
Can I still wait. Can I pick both and just use footage from both editing wise?
Sure. Let's go with that. Honestly, Brinsley, I'm not even playing this up. I can't pick. I can't pick. I'd say that
I genuinely think you should pick Mando.
I'd say
actually, I think there's something to yours how angry you were at Mando because the seasons before Mando were like probably better shows than Rebels. So what it's following up, I feel like this kind of lives up to the quality of Rebels.
I'd say that Ahsoka's better than Kenobi, and it's better than Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it's not as good as Mando season 1 and 2, but is it better than Mando season? Oh, I can't. I don't know. I might have to just put them on a level playing field with that, honestly. Then there's a really strange scene where Thrawn sends out 2 TIE fighters after the gang, and they crash straight into Sabine. Well, Sabine steers the ship in a certain way where the TIE fighters smash straight into the two wings of her ship. I was expecting her ship to like fucking ignite and just blow up instantly. And I actually I actually put a note down on my phone saying that, oh, how come her ship isn't incapacitated or blown up or whatnot? But then the very next shot is it crashing to the ground. I was like, okay. But then, like Kylo Ren in Episode 9, after the wing gets cut off his TIE fighter, she just completely emerges from the wreck, totally unscathed, and she's absolutely fine in every way. Yeah. And she just swaggers out like a girl boss, like, fuck yeah, like, she's gonna put her shades on as the
Main
ship...
characters don't die in car crashes, dude. Oh, well, unless you're Paul Walker.
Oh... Oh, they're going to bring him back for the next film.
Are they really? That's awful.
Probably. I mean, no character stays dead.
Remember when those movies were about races?
Yeah, I do. But you know what? I still turn up for them. Ezra says, like, not to state the obvious, but now that our ship's been blown up, this is going to slow us down a bit. So I have a note saying, Ezra states the obvious about being slowed down.
Yeah.
And I put, this acting is painfully dull to watch. There is no life to anything or anyone in this whole show. There was a moment in the previous episode where Ahsoka laughed, and it was almost like a whiplash. It was like, holy fuck, there's like actual emotion in this, of like characters interacting in a believable, human, cool way. Yeah, God, everything's so shit.
Also, by the way, I think the magic is the wrong shade of green.
Oh, that's a nitpick that I wouldn't even go for.
It's too blue. It needs to be yellower.
You gonna edit this and just color correct the green?
Well, I feel like an edit like that is kind of like people who rotoscope the Grand Inquisitor's head and squish it. Squish.
Which, you know, we're still never getting. I'm still waiting.
I cannot believe you would say that. After 8 fucking years, you made people wait for your hot edit.
Here's the thing, though. I was still working on that during those 8 years, non-stop. These motherfuckers have either just cancelled it, canned it, or just stopped.
I would get texts from you like, I haven't worked on The Hobbit in months.
I would say months. I gave myself a break for like a week sometimes.
No. There would be weeks where you would have dry spells.
Oh, this is interesting. Brinsley says, random, but could you pitch an idea for a good Star Wars TV show / movie, or any ideas where the franchise should go? I mean, I think it should go to the grave,
I got one.
But go on.
I got a great one. Okay. So, you know how the Two Towers opens with the Gandalf scene, but the camera follows Gandalf down the hole instead of the Fellowship?
Mm-hmm.
Mace Windu.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You need to get off this. You need to get off this horse, dude.
I'm telling. I really. So Mace Windu, he's lost his hand. He lands. It's not great. Then how long has it been since? It's been like 15 years since. Okay, so it would be like a few years before A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And Mace Windu is like this homeless drunk on Dantooine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you do. Kind of like Luke in The Last Jedi, but instead of being upset with the Jedi, he's upset with everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Empire's doing Empire thing. He finds the will to fight again. Very kind of Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai. Yep. Seven Samurai / Magnificent Seven. Yeah. He helps the rebels on Dantooine, fights an Inquisitor, gets a lightsaber, kills the Inquisitor. You know, because you need to get him a lightsaber. Vader finds out Mace Windu's there. instead of sending the Inquisitors to kill him, he sends bounty hunters to take him alive because Mace Windu is the only one who's ever almost beaten Palpatine in a fight, and he veers towards the dark side a bit.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I did a video on I think it was on a previous channel actually, of the Star Wars shows that I would love to see in some way, and I'm actually trying to think about what some of them were. I think I had one sort of in a similar vein to the old Cartoon Network Clone Wars series, where you had like a string of 5 minute episodes. And I guess maybe in a similar way now
So
that Tales
it's
of the
kind of like
Jedi.
Vision.
Yeah, filling in the gap of Anakin's training with Obi-Wan between episodes 1 and 2. I think that would be really cool. I think
That would be cool.
I think there's fertile ground there, and you know, a lot of people criticize the fact that we never see that part of Anakin's life, which should be integral of what kind of man he is, what kind of person he is, how Obi-Wan's training and really parentage or sibling kind of relationship with him really influenced him over the years. And you know, so I'm not a massive fan of the Clone Wars series, but you know, some say it really did flesh out and embellished a lot of aspects about the Clone Wars that we saw in the live action films, which maybe smoothed some things over that were a bit clunky in the original films and made it a bit more palatable. I think you could do the same. I think there's fertile ground there, which I really don't feel like has been explored. You could maybe get into the Cypher Dia stuff if you really wanted to later down the line, but I think just good 5 minute episodes of almost like a Karate Kid, Miyagi and Daniel-san kind of thing of, you know, Anakin as he gets into adolescence. Maybe we could even see that nest of Gundarks. Who knows? But I think that would be cool. I think I had
The
one
comic
series.
about when oh, go on.
No. I was going to say, I think another one of my suggestions back then, however many years ago it was now when I did that video, I said I'd like a TV show based on all the Jedi Masters, because we never really got much character for them, but I guess they've made that now with Tales of the Jedi. I think there's a lot more Jedi they
Hmm.
could do stories on, but
Yeah, they should keep making Tales of the Jedi, I think, like to do that thing with like Anakin and Obi-Wan as well as things about the other masters.
mhm.
And maybe not another story about why we should hate Mace Windu.
Yeah. I think with me, like the saga is the saga to me. I mean, I don't count 7, 8, and 9. To me, it's the 6 episodes, and I see that as a complete unit. And the only way is to sort of go in between that and flesh bits out. And I feel the ground between 3 and 4 has been covered to nauseum. I don't think you can do anything more with that. 4 to 5 would be negligible. 5 to 6 would be negligible. So really, it's just that massive 10-year jump between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, really. Clone Wars has already been sorted. Other than that, if I was going to throw out another option, we need to get away from Skywalkers. We need to get away from the main saga and go in a totally new direction with new stories, new characters. Do the fucking Old Republic. Just go way the fuck back to like the
Oh
beginning of
yeah,
the Jedi and
that's
the Sith.
so easy. If I ever did a video about like things like stories that Disney should make in Star Wars, I would not include the Old Republic because it's so fucking easy to say that.
Yeah. Well,
It's the laziest suggestion.
no, it is,
Fuck
but
you.
I'm just saying that's to me. You've got to go new. You've got to go. Just break away from it. They fucked it. Just go back and try something new. But yeah. Um,
They could try a High Republic show.
I don't really care about the high. I think they want to,
Oh yeah,
but
but
I don't give a
me
fuck about
neither.
the High
Honestly,
Republic.
I didn't look at anything.
Um,
I just want to throw something out there.
yep.
The bounty hunters that would be going after Mace Windu, not amongst them would be Boba Fett. But then Bosk would be like, "Hey Boba, I owe you. So just so you know, Vader's having us try to take the guy who killed your dad alive."
Hmm.
And then he goes and he ends up killing Mace Windu via disintegration.
Oh, okay, okay. It's all connected. I like it. Just going back to the episode. Oh, Brinsley says, aren't they supposed to be working on a new KOTOR game? They were, but I think it got shit canned. I'm pretty sure.
It did not. It is still being worked on.
Oh, okay.
They did address this.
Um,
The allegations and the rumors. You know why the trailer got hidden?
why?
Their copyright on Disney's song in it ran out.
Oh, okay. Just going back to the episode then. So, Thrawn trains the Star Destroyer's cannons, and he rain hellfire upon them. I was like, oh yeah, hell is a place in Star Wars. That was established in Empire Strikes Back. So he's like, rain hellfire upon them, and
That was established in A New Hope. Well, he'd better have those droids. He'd better
There'll be
clean
hell
those
to pay, yeah.
vaporizers by the North Ridge, or there'll be hell to
Yeah,
pay.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
I'll see you in hell.
That's the one I was thinking of. So the entire
I know.
cannons of the Star Destroyers, which are fucking powerful lasers from a Star Destroyer, are just hailing the fucking ground. And all you've got is like Sabine and Ahsoka and Ezra on two howlers charging towards the front gate.
Those lasers are very underpowered right now. Those blasts. Understand? Thrawn did the exact same thing in the season finale of Rebels to a city, and it was bad. It was bad for that city.
But because everyone's got plot armor
Like,
on, especially Ahsoka and Sabine, they make it through unscathed. Hell, even the Howlers don't buy it. They get in
yeah,
just fine.
They literally, it was clever. They're like, hey, the Imperial Capitol building on our city is also a ship. Let's use their emergency recall thing to get all the Imperials on the ship and launch it. And then Thrawn was like, you idiot, you just removed all Imperial assets from the city, and now I can bombard it.
But then when they make it in the door, Thrawn's just like, oh, that was unfortunate. I didn't see that happening. And again, Thrawn keeps fucking up. He keeps fucking up all the time, and it was just really annoying me.
I don't see these as Thrawn fucking up. I see these as the main characters succeeding.
With plot armor, with ridiculous levels of plot armor, because that was stupid.
Exactly, which is what. But the thing is, here's the thing though: Rogue One made plot armor canon
until they all died.
No, that was literally that was when their plot armor ran out.
I mean,
the moment they did their thing, as second they were no longer useful to the plot, they died.
I don't think any of them are in any kind of ridiculous situation
Rogue One
where they
made plot armor.
None of them are in like any ridiculous situation where they'd be like immediately pulverized. Not to this level.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force, and the Force.
Oh, he was being mystical and wizardy, and I'll allow it.
These are actual Jedi.
I'll allow. No, not really. No.
Besides the worst Jedi. Besides the worst Jedi.
Excuse me, motherfucker. I have said multiple times that Ahsoka is a Jedi, and you're like, actually, she's not a Jedi. She left the Order years ago.
Oh, I will say no. I would refer to Ahsoka as a Jedi after the Anakin episode, because that's a much better way to end that episode.
No, it is. I agree, and they didn't go with that. So in your headcanon, maybe, yes, but
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah, no. I'll do it. I'll 11 Labs Ahsoka's voice.
But fear not, Star Wars fans. Filoni's got you covered. He knows when you're losing interest in the episode. So lightsabers, Star Wars, pew pew pew. We've got a whole room of stormtroopers, and the fucking worthless, and they're terrible. These are night troopers. They're meant to be better, and they're still shit.
You know who was the last person to fight the blade of Talzin with a lightsaber?
I don't know.
Mace Windu. He had an adventure with Jar Jar, and Mother Talzin wanted to be resurrected, so they were going to sacrifice Jar Jar's girlfriend.
Oh.
Who's a powerful Force sensitive, but not a Jedi. In fact, their people are often force sensitive, but they're very opposed to the Jedi because the Jedi is like a cult that kidnaps children.
Right.
Hi, Floyd.
So lightsabers, night troopers, still shit. The stormtroopers still be fucking up and are terrible. But pew pew pew, vom vom vom, Star Wars, great. Are you
Oh, I
interested?
just want to say something about the zombie stormtroopers. So I
Hang
was
on. That's my
wrong.
next. That's my next. Before that, I have and it's actually the thumbnail of this video. Ahsoka strikes a pose, and she's so cool. Look at her. There we go. Sisters are doing it for themselves, guys. Continue. Yes, I'm onto the zombies now as well.
Um, okay. The troopers weren't zombies yet, but my point from last review still stands. Yay me.
Yeah, I guess this is jumping ahead a little
Called
bit,
it.
but they have Sabine has a fight with one that's already like got a fucked up zombie face.
Yeah, were they in Beskar?
Well, apart from the helmets, they ran out of Beskar just making the suits, I guess.
Yeah. Also, um,
But I thought if you stabbed
it's
some
convenient
Beskar, it
that
would still go
the one
through.
who's not great with the what?
I thought like if you did like a glancing blow on Beskar, it wouldn't go through it. But if you fucking like direct it straight into the Beskar, it would still go through.
No.
It's not like Mithril.
Maybe with the dark saber, like maybe with the dark saber, but not with like a regular lightsaber.
That lightsaber would have skewered a wild boar. Um,
You see the difference between why I'm saying the dark saber might do that, but otherwise not right.
um, I guess I sure.
In in season 2, we see the Beskar spear go up against Ahsoka's lightsabers. The color of it does not change. Then we see Mandalorian fight the dark saber with Gideon using the dark saber, and
Mm,
we see the spears becoming red hot.
mm. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Did you pay attention to the soundtrack when the stormtroopers were being
No,
necromancified and coming back as zombies?
I did not.
So the music was played on like an old fiddle, which sounded remarkably like the song "Dance Macabre," if you've ever heard that. By
Oh wait, no. I know about the. Yeah, no, it is. It was a reference to Dance Macabre.
yeah, the Saint Sons song, and it just immediately struck a chord with me. No pun intended. Um, but I don't know, man. Fucking zombie
The pun
stormtroopers.
was intended. Fuck you.
Zombie stormtroopers.
Also,
I
not the
just
first time it's happened.
no. I don't
Zombie
care.
stormtroopers has happened.
I don't
There were
care.
zombie stormtroopers in a book called, I think, Death Troopers,
I don't
which
care.
is not canon anymore. But then there is uh parasite clone troopers in Clone Wars.
I
Did you know Geonosis, the Queen of Geonosis, wanted to take over the galaxy by giving the Supreme Chancellor a brain parasite?
I do know that. I did see that episode.
Mm.
It's still fucking dumb. Zombie stormtroopers. I was so checked out. I messaged you at that point and was like, dude, what the fuck am I watching? What is happening right now? Um, then they kind of
I mean, I called zombie stormtroopers last week, so I don't know what to say.
then they kind of bait and switch the main villain in this. So Thrawn, who should be our main villain, at least for the finale, in terms of having an actual altercation with our protagonist, is completely sidelined. Where we have Morgan Elsbeth essentially
No,
being the main villainess,
no. What?
who has
That's
a
not how you do that.
hmm?
Was the Emperor the main villain in New Hope or Empire Strikes Back?
At least he confronted Luke.
What do you? No. Was he he wasn't in A New Hope, and he never talked to Luke in Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, that was a trilogy that was building up to the finale. But my point, and this was a finale. My point
No,
is
but they are all
that
no. But they are also isolated stories in a larger story, and this is the in this new story, this is the first chapter, which means they're not going to have the hero square up with the main villain. That's like having oh, that's like starting a Justice League trilogy with Darkseid. Why would you do that? Who would ever think that was a good idea? I mean, it was fun, but like Zack Snyder, what the hell are you doing? That's like putting Thanos in Avengers Assemble.
What
Well,
was
no,
it?
well, he was at the end, but you
Yeah,
know
he
what I'm
was.
saying.
He was with a much more comic accurate design actually. In that final end credit scene. And he talks about
I don't care.
and he talks about courting death, which is like a major thing with that character that they just completely didn't do towards the end.
Ignored. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought leading up to Infinity War, he was like secretly Hela's girlfriend or
Mm.
boyfriend,
Well, I'm glad
and
they didn't mash
that's
the
why
two
he's at.
characters together, but um,
I mean, Hela was plenty of characters mashed together.
or what if
The
Death was
sword
the,
thing is somebody else.
or what if they replaced Red Skull with Death as a kind of, I don't know.
With Lady Death, that would be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I don't know. You could do something with that. Um, yeah. So Morgan fights
Like,
Ahsoka in.
hey, want to go bang after I kill my daughter? Spoiler.
um, that yeah. Then you get some stormtroopers that have lightsaber proof armor, which I'm like, well, why don't you just kit everyone out with this? And even if you don't have the materials to do so, why these ones? So everything can block a lightsaber apart from the helmet, because then there's a Last Jedi reference where a Sabine's
Yep.
about to get bested, and then she uses the Force and just ignites the lightsaber straight through the head, like the Praetorian
It
Guard.
was like a combination of a Last Jedi reference and an Empire Strikes Back reference, and
Um,
that makes it new.
yeah. Um, then Ezra does a scene that's it's like that scene in the Matrix with Morpheus and Neo, where he does the super jump across the buildings. Um, and he uses
Oh yeah, yeah.
a super force jump. Um, yeah, that
I gotta be.
happens.
They did this in Rebels. This
Oh,
happened
did
in
they?
Rebels with
Okay.
the Maul.
One thing that pissed me off was,
You were right to trust me, Ezra. Or no, Jabba. He was lying about his name.
oh, even though loads of people would know who Jabba the Hutt is, but okay. Um,
Oh, dude, no, yeah, no. Maul knew immediately he was lying because he had taken control of Jabba's crime syndicate
yeah, but
during the Clone Wars, and he's
why
just like,
couldn't
all right.
why couldn't he just come up with a name? Why does he have to name like the most famous gangster in the galaxy?
Dude, literally in the episode where they introduce Hondo, Ezra says his name is Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, Filoni definitely wrote that. He's like, I know who that is. I think we've lost JX again. I'm going to continue anyway. One thing that really pissed me off in this episode, well, there's a lot of things that pissed me off in this episode, but one thing, and this isn't even necessarily a criticism against this episode or this series in general, it's kind of a criticism of every single thing that Ahsoka's in and that Dave Filoni writes. There are seemingly hundreds of stormtroopers coming after Ahsoka, and they're all opening fire on her, and she's just standing there deflecting all the bullets. And it just annoys me because there were limitations to what the Jedi could do. At Geonosis, when there's like a shittillion number of battle droids firing at the Jedi, Jedi are dying. When you get to Order 66, you've got that great moment with Coyote-Mundi on Maigito, where he's leading the charge, and there's like maybe 6 clone troopers behind him, and they all open fire on him, and he just gets like, he deflects a few, but then he gets peppered with them and just like goes down. Ayla Sakura doesn't even ignite her lightsabers and gets taken out. There's limitations to the Jedi. If you have a bunch of guns trained at a Jedi, they might deflect a few, but they're going down. They just it's a question of numbers. And in this one, just Ahsoka's just plot armor, just making light work of it. She doesn't care. Like, the stormtroopers are so ineffective. And there's a moment where like Morgan Elspeth like steps forward to fight her again, and all the stormtroopers around are just doing nothing. Like seconds ago they were shooting at Ahsoka, and now when she's fighting Morgan, they have a clean shot at Ahsoka, and none of them are firing. It's so bullshit. They have like a million chances to take out Ahsoka in this episode, and they just don't take it. Ahsoka was specifically trained to be able to beat the clones, and the stormtroopers are worse than clones. Right. Okay. Well, actually, no. No, she wasn't trained to beat the clones, because in Season 7, when Order 66 happens, she just gets out of there when they all train their guns on her, and she's absolutely fine, because she's Ahsoka. Oh, hang on. He's back. Dude, you need to sort your internet out, motherfucker.
Shut up. Chris, shut up. Right, but in Tales of the Jedi, Ahsoka had this special test against the training droids, and Anakin didn't go to it, and she's like, why didn't you go to the big test? The droids were set to their maximum. And it's just like, that test is bullshit. It's terrible. Look, I'll give you a real test. And it gets, I think, 12 clones from the 501st to just start opening fire at her in a complete circle. And she's like, the clones are better than the droids. This is overkill. It's like, yeah, if you can take the clones, then you'll be better than any droids ever.
What if she got hit? What if she got shot in the face in that moment?
We're using the blue.
Dude, your microphone's wank. Like, what it
Circles from hope.
You keep cutting in and out, man. The internet's so fucking bad. If you're not on 4G, switch to 4G. Yeah, it just keeps stuttering in and out. Yeah, so just why don't the stormtroopers shoot Ahsoka when she's fighting Morgan? There's a
blue circles from A New Hope.
They have a number of scenes where they could, the number of moments where they could just shoot her. And Morgan fucking dies anyway. Thrawn makes the jump to hyperspace, and Sabine and Ahsoka really don't seem that fussed about it. Like, they don't seem like they even care. Like, this isn't
your throat.
I know it's fucked. But there's like,
but no, Chris, they're using the stuns, the circles, the blue circles from A New Hope.
The
okay. Clone. That's why they didn't hit Ahsoka. Okay. Well, they did hit Ahsoka many times, often. She did this. She did this a lot.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the first one to do it, the first one to hit her was Jesse, the one who was talking to Rex when Rex was like, "Look, Ahsoka's not a Jedi, therefore Order 66 shouldn't apply." And he's like, "You are in direct violation of Order 66, and you must be purged." I'm Australian in this show, even though I'm supposed to be from New Zealand.
Jar Jar. Brinsley
local?
Says...
Not some local.
Brinsley says, I'm confused. When is Ahsoka Season 1 supposed to be taking place in the timeline? I think it's 7 years, or like 10 years after Return of the Jedi, I think.
Okay, so I can answer. I think I have notes about this because we were discussing Jason Syndulla's age. He first showed up because I thought he looked kind of old or young or something. I thought he was too, but it turns out it made sense. Okay, so yeah, Jason was born 5 years before A New Hope. That means he was 9 when he fought at the Battle of Endor. I thought that would make him 19, but I guess less time than we thought. He's 14, so it's been 5 years since Battle of Endor.
Well, wasn't Mando Season 1 meant to be 5 years after Return of the Jedi? But this is set after
it was supposed
Season
to be
3.
4 years, apparently.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this is set after Season 3 of Mando.
Or actually, it might actually only be like 2 years. It's really unclear.
Yeah, because they in the previous episode they refer to Gideon's actions at the end of Mando season 3. So
Oh
this
yeah,
is
no,
set
no,
after
this is
Mando
definitely
season
after that.
3. Yeah. Um, but yeah, when Thrawn escapes and he's like, the galaxy's doomed, and Ahsoka and Sabine really don't seem to give a shit that everything they were trying to prevent has fucked up and like they failed, but they don't care. There's never a moment where they, you know,
Because
you,
Ezra's home.
when Aragorn goes to the King of the Dead and he doesn't know if they're going to fight for them, and then he gets outside and he sees the Corsair ships and he just kind of like falls to his knees like, we failed, like we fucked up, and Legolas comes behind him and like puts his hand on his shoulder. Yeah, like they just Thrawn escapes and they're like, hey, they look mildly irritated. It's like it's like you went when
That's about as much as we've gotten from them this whole season, dude.
it's like when you try and catch the green light, and then it just changes to red and you have to stop and you're like, oh fuck's sake. It's that.
You stop.
It's that same kind of energy.
Let me make something clear to you. If I think I can make the light, I don't.
Your internet's gone again,
Even
dude.
if I'm wrong.
Your internet's gone again.
Look, if I think I can make the light, I don't stop.
Sure. Okay. After this, we kind of get like a
It
bunch
might be
of
red for a second.
we get a bunch of scenes that are trying to tie something up, but there's not really anything to tie up. So Ahsoka sees the owl again. I knew it was going to show up.
Hang on, wait. I want to say a note about the when Sabine shows up for the fight with Morgan. Morgan.
Oh, okay.
Are you in need of assistance, Ahsoka? Continue.
And then they go to the stormtroopers. You should have stayed dead.
This is true. They should have.
Hey, that involved a necromancer, right? So
Yeah. And that was great storytelling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ahsoka sees the magical, mystical daughter owl from Mortis. That's a scene. Then we cut to Shin, who is now leading the completely terrible and awful samurai sand people. She just kind of rides up and ignites the lightsaber, and
I have really no idea what was going on there. Like, I feel like what's gonna happen with her should have happened this episode, was probably meant to happen this episode, but I think they want to use the rest of Ray Stevenson's footage next season, like at the start.
Oof, that's gonna be awkward. Yeah, because in the previous episode you just said
I
like,
think they had more for him this episode, and then they're like, I think they're gonna try to stretch that out season.
yeah, because in the previous
towards,
episode
like,
he
the
said
beginning.
something that she's very ambitious and that she should take her place in like the new empire or something and lead people or whatever. And she doesn't get to do that because Thrawn's fucked off. So I guess she's just gone, right, I'll just lead these completely pointless group of like nomads, right? So that happens. Then you get Ray Stevenson, who again has done nothing this entire episode. And really doesn't have any kind of character arc. We don't know what his plan is, what he was trying to do. We don't really get any more about his history or how he knows Anakin or anything about him really. And then he travels to the Argonath from The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the background that I've got going right now. Which, for anyone who's seen Clone Wars, they'll probably know what that statue is of. It's of the father, who is like the balance of the physical embodiment of the balance of the Force. And there's another statue to the side of him as well, who I think is the son.
It
It,
is the son. It's most certainly the son.
but there's no daughter.
I'd know them chiseled cheeks anyway. No, there is a daughter.
Hey, chiseled cheeks.
It's Ahsoka.
Are we talking about Hera?
Is this a stream or just a wall?
This is a stream.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you missed my
Uh,
amazing chiseled cheek joke.
oh, I did. What was your amazing chiseled cheek joke?
I said chiseled cheeks. Are we talking about Hera this episode?
Oh, brilliant. Nice. Yeah, good job.
But there was no daughter statue. I didn't see. It's just kind of those two.
No, the daughter was Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen, dude. I think you called it years before. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I've been saying this for years. Of course, she's going to be the daughter. She's the when she a spoiler. She hasn't seen it. When she dies at the end of the something of the thing the Mortis episodes, she's given the remaining life force of the daughter, who's the embodiment of the light, and I think she's going to be the new daughter, or possibly the mother, if the embodiment of the balance is not the father next. Maybe perhaps the child.
Are we gonna get Abeloth?
No,
No.
I'm saying Grogu.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying Grogu would be the father, but it would be now less. The balance would be the
Yeah.
lower one.
Thrawn approaches Dathomir, and they kind of look like the things in Star Trek Into Darkness that Khan is transporting his people in like those coffin-looking things. Are we just to infer that those are a bunch of stormtrooper clones or something, or necromancer-ified stormtroopers?
They might just be stormtrooper corpses, which actually, I think that's a really cool replacement for clones. I think that's a really interesting, because Thrawn's whole thing in revealed at the end of Dark Force Rising is he's got RT cloning tanks, which means he can clone troops in 2 weeks, because he figured out the problem with fast cloning. It was the Force. But if a body growing up without the Force doesn't go insane.
Well, even so, he's got like what, a couple of thousand stormtrooper dead bodies in there.
How many? You just need more troops.
Put Ahsoka in there on her own. She'll be fine. She'll dispatch them all. They go down easy, so it's fine.
Yeah, stormtroopers. That's the idea.
Now we're onto the really
Now they get back up.
onto that really dumb Ezra scene where we both have a similar note on this. So the scene starts off with a spaceship entering the hangar, and this is the Rebel hangar, right? So there's like Hera, there's Chopper, there's all of the Rebel guys, and this enemy Imperial shuttle lands into the hangar bay, and the drawbridge comes down, whatever you want to call it, and out walks a stormtrooper, and they're all got their blasters trained, and they say like, "Put your fucking hands where we can see them." It's like a cop show. It's like, you know, back away slowly, take your hands off the blaster, like hands up behind your back, all of that stuff. And he's just ignoring their orders, and he's just marching down like boulders brass towards them. And they're like, "Look, fucking stop or we'll shoot." And I think Chopper goes forward, doesn't he? Chopper goes to like,
I know those body. What is the lengths of your body called? You're an artist. You've heard the
What?
like the length, like not parameters, like the different ratios of sizes of your body. What's
Bench?
I know those dimensions.
and then he keeps the helmet on. He keeps the stormtrooper. Never once does he say,
Dude, take off the helmet.
yeah, never once did he say, like, even when, like, the ship was coming in, he never patched through and said, like, "Hey, this is Ezra, like, requesting permission
Hi,
to come
Hera.
aboard." That's really threw me. But yeah, he never patches through and says, like, "Hey, requesting permission to land," you know, all of that stuff. Hell, even when he gets off the ship and they all point their blasters there, he never once goes like, don't shoot," and like immediately takes the helmet off like, "I'm Ezra Bridger." it's just played so you can have that really dumb reveal.
Yes,
That's
yes, that is exactly
literally
what
the
it
only
is.
reason that's in there.
Although I will say one thing I like about Rebels is they do the wearing stormtrooper armor a lot, which is honestly why don't people do that more?
Because they're never very convincing when they do it.
Yeah, but he they they're Jedi. They
Oh. The next note I have is okay. So I heard some people mentioning this earlier on in the series, and I never really clocked it, I guess, but I did now. My next note is, when are Ahsoka and Sabine going to fuck? Because they were giving each other the fuck me eyes all the way through like the ending of this episode, and I'm cool
you're
with
gonna
it,
love this show.
and I'm cool with it, but like I don't
You're
get
gonna
what their
love. Don't worry.
relationship is like. Did you pick up on that,
It's
or was that
it's
just
a
me?
I didn't get it today. I got it in the trailers. I didn't really pick it up in the show.
Okay. Yeah, there was some like legit sexual tension going on. And then the final shot is Force Ghost Anakin, looking at them with approval, and the sea lion clapping fans go fucking bananas because it's Hayden Christensen again, and he's in a Force Ghost. And this is the second time we've seen him as a
And this
Force
time
Ghost.
he's in the right robes.
Yeah, we had a bit of a disagreement about the robes. I'm like, look, I know
Return of the Jedi, he's in the wrong robes.
I know they
We should
superimposed his
fix that.
head. I know they superimposed his head over Sebastian Shaw. I get it, but Brinsley says
They should have just green screened him in new robes.
Brinsley says, does Zeb from Rebels ever show up? No, and that's what's so fucking confusing is that
I'm
thought
so they must have thought that scene was a failure.
maybe, or like, but I don't know. I felt like they were testing the CGI out in it, and I thought that was all but confirmed. Oh, this is going to lead into the Ahsoka show because that's a guy from Rebels.
Maybe they were testing the CGI and they decided they wanted Hugh Yang.
Maybe. It seems weird that like by the end of this series they've kind of got the whole gang back together again, apart from him.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
But even then, like,
I
just
think, by the way, I think Ezra is going to train Jason.
but I guess we can because we're gonna have to start wrapping up now anyway. Final thoughts on Ahsoka as a series. I'm gonna start with you.
I think Ezra is going to train Jason. That was my final thought. When he was with Hera at the end. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why he's going to not get trained well and be his namesake.
No. I mean, as not just like your final note on the episode. I mean, this is the finale as a series one, as a show.
It was a follow up to Clone Wars and Rebels. It was a show to that quality. I don't have strong feelings about, although not Rebels season 7, not Rebels season, Clone Wars season 7. See, the end of season 7 was actually rather masterfully done.
I thought this show was
Well,
absolute.
still keeping to general quality of the show still.
I thought this show was absolute piss, beginning to end. Truly dreadful. Dave Filoni, everyone hailing him as like the successor to Star Wars, and that Star Wars is now in safe hands. That he's helming it. This is awful. This shows a complete ineptitude of writing, of direction, of storytelling, of every single facet of storytelling, from character to everything. This was 8 episodes. I know not every episode was an hour long, but you probably got about 6 hours of content in here cumulatively, and to just squander it all by the end of it, I don't feel like anyone's had a compelling character arc. I don't think any of the acting has been good at all. Ray Stevenson, I've mentioned, was trying with the very limited material that he had, and I don't even necessarily blame the actors. I know that a bunch of the actors in this series can do better and have done better. So I don't know if that's just a question of the writing, if they just really couldn't give a shit themselves, or if it comes down to the directing, because they had a bunch of different directors from episode to episode. This show didn't really have anything to say. It didn't really advance its characters in any kind of deep or meaningful way. And by the end of it, I feel like the equilibrium is exactly where we started. It pretty much hits the reset button.
Dude,
In
why the
almost...
hell? Okay, first, I still stand by they did not hit the reset button. They literally hit the reverse card. But second, how did that third sentence not rhyme?
Okay, so the show starts off where Thrawn's in another galaxy and Ezra, and they've got to try and get there. They get to said galaxy, and then Thrawn fucks off to another galaxy. It's literally like, we're sorry, but your Thrawn's in another castle.
Well, not our galaxy, but the galaxy.
It's like, we're sorry, but your Thrawn's in another castle. That's literally what it is. If this is just to lead into the this is what I mean. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2 next, or if the movie is the next plan where they're going to try and bring that. It's going to be like Avengers Assemble. You're going to have Mando coming into it. You're going to have Book of Boba Fett coming into it. You're going to have every show they've done coming into it, which I really don't care for. And I just thought this was truly awful, beginning to end. It was a miserable, boring nothingness of an experience. I got nothing from this. I had no emotional attachment to this. I was watching content, and this just further cements to me that Star Wars is a dead fucking brand under the Disney namesake. Literally the only good things that they've produced. I thought Rogue One was alright. I really liked it at the time, but it's diminished a little bit for me now. But I thought Andor was great. But Andor was written years and years ago. I think that was the first show that was put into development, and in terms of the writing. So yeah, I'm totally done. So if Ahsoka season 2 comes out, hell, I'm sure we'll be here to review it. But I'm just this felt so when all the fucking stormtroopers showed up again, and we just have another lightsabery fight and pew pew. I've checked out so hard now. It's just gone. It's just gone. It really has. And yeah, it was a terrible fucking show. And for anyone that just keeps saying like, oh, Dave Filoni's the best, if this is as, because he had complete control over this from the writing, and if this is as good as it gets, well, I'm tapped out. I'm done. I'm so done.
Chris, Star Wars is as gone as Grishnak in Fango and Forest when Mary says he's gone.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm halfway through Treebeard. That's why I
right.
I brought that up.
But no, that's it. This concludes our Wednesday night streams of Star Wars content until we can think of something else to do. I'm sure something else will come up. The next thing that I've got...
there are a number of Star Wars fan edits, so I'm sure I could awkwardly bring up. We review it during a stream.
I'm sure. I need to get graphics and thumbnails ready though, because the next big retrospective that I'm starting on the channel, which will be starting a week on Monday, is going to be the biggest retrospective I've ever done on the channel. It's one I've been wanting to do for years. I will be going through all of the Disney animated classics, starting from the original 1930 movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, one each week for the next year plus, because there's like 60 of them. So it's going to be going for a long while. That's going to be every single Monday. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. So stay tuned on the channel for more details. Times that I'm going live, and for the thumbnails and the graphics and everything, I'm going to be working on those this weekend. So yeah, I've kind of said everything I need to. JX, if you want to tell people where they can find you, and then we'll round off.
Well, first, I just quick question. Are we going to be watching the Monkey movie?
We could watch a Monkey movie. Yeah, I probably got time to watch a Monkey movie.
I think so. Oh hell! You know when we would do the stream for that?
Was it today?
It was today.
Oh, no way.
Today is Charlton Heston's 100th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Charlton Heston. You the man.
Sorry we didn't watch the Monkey movie.
We can still watch the Monkey movie at some point. I want to watch the Monkey movie.
Let's watch the Monkey movie.
Monkey Bone?
We should watch the first two, because it is insane what happens in that sequel.
If we're watching the first two, we got to watch all of them.
Not really. The first two still work as their own. The first two are like the Devil's Rejects and the House of a Thousand Corpses. You don't need the third one. Just stop.
It's like Blade or Shrek.
Or Left 4 Dead and Half-Life. You guys, we're fine. We don't need.
Brinsley says, I haven't seen most of the newer Star Wars series, but I'm not in any rush, but was glad to be here for the reviews at least. No, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in week to week. We've had surprisingly more people than I thought we would have, which has been really nice, because I don't think anyone really tuned in for Andor, did they? I don't think anyone watched that show, so yeah, it's cool that we've had a few at least, and we've kept the conversation
going. I was just talking about Tom Bombadil by ourselves.
Exactly. But yeah, we'll round off. So
hey, Dole, Mary Dole,
ring-a-dum-de-lo. Oh wow, my voice found the strength to sing a little bit of Tom Bombadil there. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, yeah, big thank you guys.
Jolly Tom Bombadillo.